Spread out across the island of Oahu, the Inhuman royal family struggles to reunite. I mean, at least one of them does. And actually, the other three seemed just fine where they were. Huh. But luckily, fate has provided convenient and willing allies to help them in their cause, and show that not all of humanity is bad. Thanks, fate! It's Inhumans, Episode 3, Divide and Conquer. Hey everyone, D here, and welcome to this week's review of Inhumans. So yes, there will be spoilers ahead, and this review brought to you by the word family. Family. It's what everyone's fighting for.
You don't turn your back on family.
Yeah, taking a cue off of the Fast and Furious franchise, was this episode really everyone talking and focusing as how much they are fighting for family, returning for family, how family is important. It was kind of beat over our heads with this episode. And look, I came into this episode willing to get rid of my feelings off of the premiere, off of the IMAX movie, off of the whole setup. That was then. Everyone's now on Earth. The show is going. We have our characters. I wanted to just step back and go, let's take a fresh approach to this. Let's just look at this for what it is and not from my expectations. Because the reality is we have to kind of throw out any expectations we have of the actual comic book royal family being exhibited on the screen here. One is the showrunner Scott Buck and the writers. There's an article that he talks all about this, is that he knew nothing about the show. He was brought in by Jeff Loeb. He was coming off of Iron Fist and was told, hey, can you take a look at this Inhumans thing? And he did a little rush trying to learn about them, had to go up to writers. They had to do a crash course to try and learn about these characters. So they don't have a background. There's not a love for these characters. And it's very apparent in the writing and the presentation. The expectations of certain histories, certain establishments that from comic lore many of us are expecting to find and see presented on the screen, that's gone. Just forget it. And so if we could do that, if we could just throw that to the side, I was hoping that at least we could start fresh. Just see what the story is going to be, judge it on its own merit, stop putting expectations on it, and just see where we were going to go. And that joy lasted all of about 5 minutes before I felt like hitting myself in the wall, my head against the wall. And the truth is, the writing in this show is awful. It is so on the nose. It is so straightforward. It reminded me very much of watching an 80s A-Team episode. That straightforward, that apparent good guys and bad guys. The cops are all angry cops. You have all of the Hawaiians just want to hang out and be bros and help everybody. I mean, it was just, the characterizations were rote, bland, stereotypical, and often didn't make any sense. The Hawaiians bonding with Gorgon there was very strange. Even the ways they're fighting, I mean, it's like they're trying to help him and he's like pushing them aside. Okay, he's being protective. I understand that. But you really shouldn't talk crap to people that are trying to help you, just as a bit of advice. And their whole reasonings for wanting to help, because they used to have a monarchy and the white men came and pushed them off, and so they're going to fight for the king. It sounds very bro-ish, and there's a little bit of an Americana, fighting for the underdog theme that's going on here. The problem is my wife grew up in Hawaii and knows a lot of Hawaiians. I have many friends that actually had grown up in Hawaii, spent time there. And the natives pretty much want all white people gone. I don't want to be throwing a blanket statement out here. But that's sort of what the show brought up, is all the Hawaiians were like, we're going to fight for the Inhumans and the underdogs and the people because we're here. And it's like, no, they would rather have everybody gone. Inhuman, white, tourist, they want their island back. So that kind of rang untrue. In fact, that was it, is some of the writing. It's like, this were written by people that don't know anything about Hawaii or Hawaiian culture. That's sort of how that came across. Karnak's whole bit with the weed farmers, it would have made more sense if he just got shot wandering into an illegal weed farm on state land instead of just sort of connecting. Now, I like the girls, I like the characters enough, but even in there, and I love the little joke, I don't know if you caught it, when Karnak said, "No, I'm not lost." That's a total Lost reference. He's back in Hawaii. That's exactly what that was. Anyway, it was just all of the characters, and the big guy in prison that was hanging out with Anson Mount. You were kind of expecting that. He's getting called up by the mysterious Dr. Declan, and is he going there to cause problems? But no, he's there to hang out and connect because he is secretly an Inhuman too. It was just the convenience of all of these allies that were appearing to help out was way too much. It was way too sappy. At least with Karnak, there was a bit of a debate, but even then it seemed very rote, expected. Like each group has to get their own little set of human allies, to show that humanity is not all that bad. Which is put in direct contrast, of course, to our constant reminders of Maximus, is that his mutation has made him just human. And that's like a horrible thing. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that are frustrating because, again, I know I just said we got to get rid of all our expectations from the comic books. But the point of Terrigenesis, the point of the Inhumans changing is to provide a need for society. That's what Terrigenesis does. When it works with the Inhuman DNA, it changes them into what is needed for Inhuman society at that moment. So there is a certain celebration for it. Now, it could work out like Eldrick, who turned into a giant door. That's actual comic character. Sometimes it's not the best thing, but that's what the society needs. So the way they present Terrigenesis here is some sort of random effect, and therefore that randomness is going to determine your position in the class society. There's no point to it. There's no expectation, so therefore there's no celebration. Everyone seems to be in fear of what Terrigenesis is going to bring them. And that was really evident with so much here, especially the flashbacks with Maximus and BlackBolt's childhood. How the parents were just, oh my God, Terrigenesis, what's going to happen? Oh, the fear, he's never going to be able to speak again. There was all this apprehension. We've always seen it with all of these parents, is that Terrigenesis is a fearful thing, and that really is something that is contrary to the way that they've established the Inhuman culture in the comics. And so that's why it's frustrating to me in that sense. But like I said, I will go ahead and put that aside for now. All right, let's talk about things that I did like about this. Flora was fine. Plant girl, she was cool. At least had some appreciation for being on the world. Her powers were kind of interesting. Horribly presented, very cheaply done. But, it was something. Kind of intrigued with her. Crystal's hair being pulled back looks so much better. Oh, thank you for doing that. She looks smarter. She's more competent. I still don't like the writing. She's still unnecessarily petulant. But I liked her. I liked her having the plan to get away and do all of that and to throw everything back in Maximus's face, that she didn't fall for it. So I did like that characterization. But yes, please keep her hair pulled back like that. You have the couple of drops down that show the pattern. That looks totally cool. But when it was dropped like that before, really, it did not work. Anson Mount got to do some fun stuff, some BlackBolt. The prisoner, his buddy, the big guy, the secret Inhuman, looked like what, lava he was making out of his hands? Really, Hawaiian with lava. That was cool. I liked his characterization. I loved a little bit of comedy when they were playing chess and the guards yanking him out, and BlackBolt was like, do this last little move here and then we can go. that was cool. There were some interesting characterizations that happened with there. And of course, Declan, Henry Ian Cusick, I'm always very excited to see him. So that was kind of fun. Not really doing much, guess just jailbreaking. I guess he's going to be our Inhuman supporter. And I guess he is the one behind the science research sent up to the moon that Luis was working on, who is now hanging out in front of the prison. Anyway, I'm talking about things I like. Henry Ian Cusick, that was good. Yeah. All right, things I didn't like that didn't work. Mortis. Mortis, I think, is just made for the show. Looks goofy, walks strange, talks funny. I mean, powerful, sure, but was not scary. I was not scared by him at all. They needed someone that moves better. When you're all faced and you can't see a face, you need somebody that moves well to inhabit that body. And this guy did not do that. The fights were awful. Not very well choreographed. All the quick cuts was awful. It was just, even the setups. Look, Maximus knew that this was a setup. That's why Gorgon left his comlink on. So walking up saying, straight up to the comlink and saying, look out, this might be a trap. Of course it's a trap. You know it's a trap. A horrible trap, because with everybody around, they weren't able to hit anybody with the initial round of gunfire. I think one person ended up getting shot. Did like the whole little rope setup that the Hawaiians had there. But the fight choreography was just really bad. Whenever it's cut all that quick where you really can't tell what's going on, that means they haven't bothered hiring a choreographer or coordinator or anything to orchestrate those fights. So yeah, the one in the forest there with Gorgon and the enemy Inhumans, that was pretty bad. Plus the one in the prison yard. Again, BlackBolt, badass fighter. And it got to show a little bit of this, but with all those quick cuts, all that quick, the editing on this was horrible. It was blinding. Really did not like seeing that at all. Also, did they really put prisoners out in the yard at night? Never seen that. I would think that'd be a security issue. Also, why is BlackBolt in prison? Shouldn't he just be in a regular jail? Shouldn't be in a federal prison or anything like that. He's just regular jail. He just got picked up. It's totally silly. Oh, and Medusa. Medusa was kind of weak this week. Really, because they didn't give her that much. I mean, there's the, fish out of water. I don't know what money is. Let me talk to an ATM and let me do all this stuff because I've never really seen anything before. And yet she really can recognize earthly fruit and other food sources and stuff. There's a lot of they know some things and don't know some things. Mostly what gets me with Medusa, I saw this in the last episode and in this one, she seems to only realize her hair is gone when she sees a reflection in the mirror. And for an individual whose hair is a whole extension of their being, that would be like cutting off an arm and only recognizing the arm is gone when you see a reflection of it. It's not. So outside of that, she was just stealing some stuff from a family and moving on. She knows at least how guns work. They do have guns in space, apparently, so same design here on Earth. So that's good. I do like that she was able to try and go and get BlackBolt because of the newspaper article. That's why I guess there were so many cops sent, so there could be a newspaper article so that everybody could see the newspaper article and know to go get BlackBolt. That seemed to be the reasoning behind it. However, when she does get to prison, there's no other guards. It's like the most unpopulated prison for police that ever was. Anyway, like I said, I'm not here to just rant, but these are things that bother me, and I have to tell you about them. Oh, and Crystal, like I said, do like the hair. I like the fact we got to see Lockjaw again. Was not really expecting him to. It was only for a couple of seconds because he's expensive to make. But yeah, the escape from the chamber. I love throwing it back in Maximus's face. No, you're the king of nothing. Shh, run away! And that was it. And nobody did anything. Just kind of watched her go. And then, all right. I do like Maximus turning it around, blaming, hey, the royal family's all running away. I'm not going to run away from you. All right, that's good. He is working to change the society. We're trying to build up Maximus as really the good guy, even though he's kind of the bad guy. Of course, the other obvious thing is, of course, they ran away because you were trying to kill them. Nobody else really brings that up much. All right, so I think that's going to wrap things up for this week. Now, last week I was talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming back. And the first date that it possibly could come back would be November 17th. That is the Friday right before Thanksgiving. Problem is, I realized immediately afterwards, is that that is the day that Justice League comes out. Which is going to be huge. If it's good or bad, it's still going to be a huge opening weekend. And I'm not thinking that Marvel is going to try and put up on Friday night the premiere of their big show of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right as Justice League is going. I think that's going to take some of the wind out of the sails, and I think they would rather wait on doing that. It would be at least until after Thanksgiving, but then there's only a couple of weeks that you could do something in December. So it does look like they may wait until January to bring back S.H.I.E.L.D., just bite the bullet and just wait that month and a half and hit it hard in January and do a straight run with Agents, which I would be fine with. I'd rather have a straight run than just see 1 or 2 episodes and then have it break for a couple of weeks. So, again, I don't know for sure. It hasn't been announced, but those are my thoughts on it. All right, so that's going to be it for today. If you did enjoy this review, go ahead and hit the like button. Thoughts, ideas, comments, please throw those down in the section below. Agree with me or disagree, please just let me know what you think. And try and do a little bit more than just calling me an asshole. I'm not saying that's not true, but at least give me some reasoning behind it, okay? Tell me what you think. Throw those down in the section below. Now, you can always catch me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Darren Jakes. Now, we do have Mr. Robot and Dirk Gently Mr. Robot Season 3 and Dirk Gently Season 2 starting next week. Plus, of course, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as soon as Inhumans is done, or in January whenever it comes back, and The Walking Dead on the 22nd. So, please, if you don't want to miss any of those reviews, make sure you're a subscriber. Do it by clicking my face right here. And I will throw up a couple of reviews for you to check out. We will do our latest of Fear the Walking Dead, and maybe I'll throw up a mystery review right here. Ooh, mystery review. Alright, so that's it for me. I'm D, and I'm out of here. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.